What made your unit get special recognition from the Pentagon? I was a specialist in the 82nd Airborne when our entire company got labeled as the worst performing unit on Fort Bragg. We failed inspections, missed deadlines, had constant disciplinary problems. Command had basically written us off as hopeless. Our new first sergeant, a guy named Jake Morrison, showed up in January 2019 with a reputation for fixing broken units. First day, he gathered us in the motor pool. "You're all failures," he said bluntly, "but I've seen worse. Question is, do you want to stay failures?" Most of us figured this was another motivational speech that wouldn't change anything. We'd heard it all before. New leadership promising change, then giving up when reality hit. But First Sergeant Morrison was different. Instead of just punishing us, he started asking questions. Why were we always late? Turned out our barracks alarm system had been broken for 6 months and nobody fixed it. Why did our equipment keep failing? We never had time for proper maintenance because we were always rushing to the next task. He spent 2 weeks just observing and taking notes. Then he did something crazy. He called a meeting with a battalion commander and demanded resources. Not asking politely, demanding. "Sir, you want results? Give me what I need to get them." He got us new alarm systems, proper tool sets, and extended maintenance windows. But the most important thing he did was get us a real mission. Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas in September 2019. The entire region was underwater. Thousands of people trapped on rooftops. FEMA was completely overwhelmed and needed immediate military disaster response teams. Every other unit was already deployed or committed to other missions, except us, the failure company that nobody trusted with important work. First Sergeant Morrison volunteered us immediately. "My soldiers are ready," he told the colonel. The colonel actually laughed. "Morrison, those guys can't even pass a barracks inspection. You want to send them on a humanitarian mission? Watch us, sir." 72 hours later, we were loading C-130s bound for the Bahamas. No time for second guessing. People were dying and our reputation didn't matter to drowning families. What happened next surprised everyone, including us. All those failed inspections had taught us how to improvise when things went wrong. All those missed deadlines taught us to work under impossible pressure. We hit the ground running, set up aid stations in 12 hours instead of the planned 24. Private Tyler Bennett, who couldn't pass a uniform inspection to save his life, personally rescued 43 people from flooded houses over 3 days. Corporal Danny Garcia, always late for formation, worked 36-hour shifts without complaining while coordinating supply drops to isolated communities. The unit that couldn't organize a simple barracks inspection somehow coordinated relief efforts for 60,000 displaced civilians. We distributed food, medical supplies, and clean water. We evacuated nursing homes and hospitals. We rebuilt emergency shelters. Local news crews started following us around. "These soldiers are everywhere," one reporter said on CNN. "They show up wherever help is needed most." 3 weeks in the disaster zone. 0 disciplinary incidents. 0 missed assignments. 0 failures. When we got back to Fort Bragg, something had changed. We walked different, talked different. We'd proven to ourselves that we weren't actually failures. Letters poured in from families in the Bahamas. Thank you cards from kids we'd evacuated. Photos of rebuilt communities. The governor of the Bahamas personally wrote to our battalion commander praising our work. Then came the big surprise. First Sergeant Morrison called formation in early October. Listen up, the Pentagon just awarded this company the Meritorious Unit Commendation for our humanitarian efforts in the Bahamas. This is one of the highest unit awards in the Army. We stood there in shock. 6 months ago, we were the worst unit on base. Now the Pentagon was recognizing us as heroes. The ceremony was surreal. Generals flew in from Washington. The same battalion commander who'd laughed at us was now pinning medals on our uniforms and talking about our dedication and professionalism. First Sergeant Morrison got promoted to Sergeant Major. Half our enlisted guys got accelerated promotions. But more importantly, we'd learned what we were actually capable of. That disaster response mission changed everything. Other units started requesting our help with difficult assignments. "Send the Dorian guys" became a common phrase around base. 10 years later, soldiers from that unit are scattered across the Army as sergeants, staff sergeants, and officers. All because one first sergeant believed we were more than our failures and a hurricane gave us the chance to prove it.